Where is Suzy Sheep's dad? It's one of the biggest mysteries in Peppa Pig, and after scouring hundreds of episodes, picking apart fan theories, and connecting clues hidden in plain sight, we've found him. Suzy's been in the show for years. We've seen her mom, her grandma, even her cousin Charlotte. But her dad? Nowhere to be seen. So, fans did what the show wouldn't. They searched and uncovered long-distance secrets, ghost narrators, hidden family ties in Italy, and even a theory involving Santa Claus that kind of holds up. Stick around, because after everything we've uncovered, the mystery of Suzy Sheep's dad might finally be solved. Chapter 1. The Ghost Who Speaks. Is Suzy's dad the narrator? Okay, this theory might sound totally bonkers, but stick with us, because there's a lot of evidence that actually backs it up. What if Suzy Sheep's dad has been in every episode of Peppa Pig? You just never saw him because he's the narrator. Think about it. The narrator knows everything, sees everything, but we've never seen him. Just like Suzy's dad. Now it gets weird. In Pedro's cough, Suzy visits her friend in the hospital and casually says,
Pedro will be asleep. Sick people do a lot of sleeping.
It's a strange thing to say, until you realize it might be something her mom told her once. Not about Pedro, but about her own dad. That's where the theory kicks in. Some fans think Suzy's dad is in a coma. Others believe he may have passed away. Either way, he's no longer able to be with Suzy like other parents. So what if Suzy's dad is still around, in a different way? What if he became the narrator, watching over Suzy and her friends, telling their stories and making sure everything turns out okay? Maybe he's doing it from a hospital bed. Maybe he's doing it as a friendly ghost. Either way, it's the only way he can stay close to the daughter he loves. And since he doesn't have much control, maybe that's why he ends up narrating everyone's adventures, not just Suzy's. In a world where fairies exist and pigs time travel in elevators, it's not that far-fetched. And if it's true, Suzy's dad might be the most important character in the whole show, even if no one ever sees him. Chapter 2. The Italian Holiday. Is Mr. Goat actually Suzy's dad? Here's where the theories get even stranger. In the episode Holiday in the Sun, Peppa and her family visit Italy and stay at a charming little holiday home run by Mr. Goat, a cheerful single dad raising his daughter, Gabriella Goat. Suzy Sheep doesn't go on this holiday. In fact, she's never seen with Mr. Goat at all. But, and it's a big but, both Suzy and Gabriella are raised by single parents, they're the same age, and their other parent is mysteriously missing. That's the moment fans started connecting the dots. What if Suzy and Gabriella are sisters, or even twins, raised apart after a separation? The idea goes like this. Maybe Mummy Sheep once lived in Italy, had Suzy with Mr. Goat, and after a split, she moved back to the UK while he stayed in Italy and raised Gabriella. Biologically, goats and sheep are close enough to have offspring in real life, so it's not as far-fetched as it sounds. Of course, it could also be something simpler. Maybe the show is just reflecting that single-parent families come in all shapes, sizes, and species, and that whether you're raised by a mum, dad, goat, or sheep, it's all part of normal family life. Still, it's fun to imagine. Because if this theory is true, it means Peppa's been hanging out with her best friend, and her best friend's long-lost sister, without ever knowing it. Chapter 3. The Santa Claus Theory. Is Suzy's dad actually magic? Okay, this next theory, it sounds ridiculous, but once you hear it, it kind of adds up. What if Suzy Sheep's dad is Santa Claus? Sounds wild, until you remember that Santa is real in the Peppa Pig universe. He shows up in episodes like Santa's Grotto and Santa's Visit. And Suzy? She's always showing off the flashiest toys. In more than one episode, she turns up with surprisingly expensive gifts, like a toy speedboat or a top-of-the-line frisbee, while the others are playing with simpler toys. Some fans believe that's no coincidence. What if her dad has access to tons of toys, because he's literally Santa? Then there's Suzy's personality. She's bossy, confident, and a little strange, in the best way possible, like in Pretend Friend, where she has an invisible companion named Leo.
Hello, Peppa. Hello, Suzy. This is my new friend, Leo Lion.
Or The Future, where she imagines herself flying planes and becoming a nurse, all with total certainty. It's the kind of magical weirdness you'd expect from Santa's kid. So here's the theory. Santa and Mummy Sheep had a secret relationship, and Suzy was the result. But to keep his identity hidden, Santa stayed away. Maybe he still watches over her and sends expensive gifts from afar to make up for not being there. And if that's true, Suzy doesn't believe in Santa. She's related to him. Chapter 4. The Spy Theory. Is Mr. Sheep working for the Queen? Alright, this one sounds like a movie plot, but hear us out because it actually adds up. What if Suzy Sheep's dad is alive, but on a secret mission? Some fans believe Mr. Sheep is a top-level British spy, part of an elite animal intelligence team working undercover for the Queen herself. Yeah, really. And Suzy might be trying to follow in his footsteps. In the future, Suzy tells Peppa she wants to become a nurse or fly planes around the world, and in her drawing, she pictures herself not just helping people, but far away, soaring above distant lands. But why? Maybe it's about reaching someone who's always out of reach, like a dad living undercover halfway across the world. And clues are hiding in plain sight. Look closely at Suzy's pajamas in the future. They have a giant anchor symbol on them, the same one worn by characters like Grandpa Pig, Captain Dog, and Grandpa Rabbit. But all of these characters are known sea captains, world travelers, and, in Captain Dog's case, literally a naval explorer who goes away for long periods of time. So why is Suzy wearing the same symbol? Fans think it might be a quiet nod to her father's past, a sea-based agent or undercover operative who's still out there on a mission. And then there's the Suzy Goes Away episode. Remember how Mummy Sheep looked upset when her job offer abroad didn't work out? Most fans thought it was about her career. But what if it was something more? What if she was hoping to reunite with Mr. Sheep, hidden in another country, working undercover and unable to come home? It would also explain why Suzy's family is so quiet about her dad, because maybe they're not allowed to talk about him. He's not missing. He's just classified. Chapter 6. The Realist Theory. Divorce, Distance, and the Unspoken Truth. Let's bring things back down to earth. Because maybe Suzy's dad didn't vanish in a magical puff of smoke. Maybe he just left. There's a strong chance that Mr. Sheep and Mummy Sheep split up a long time ago, and Suzy's mum made the decision to raise her daughter alone. We never see a single photo of him on the walls. Suzy never brings him up. And maybe that's not some grand mystery. Maybe it's just too hard to talk about. But there's also another possibility. In the episode Suzy Goes Away, we already mentioned that Mummy Sheep is upset when a new job opportunity suddenly falls through. On the surface, it seems like a career setback, but what if there was more to it? Some fans believe the job would have taken her and Suzy overseas, possibly to the US, where Mr. Sheep now lives and works. According to this theory, Suzy's dad didn't abandon the family. He left to earn a better income abroad and still supports them from a distance. Maybe he sends money back home. Maybe they visit from time to time. We just never see it on screen. Whether it's separation or distance, this theory hits the hardest. So we started with one simple question. Where is Suzy Sheep's dad? But now we're left with way more than one answer. He might be a ghost, a narrator, a goat, or even Santa Claus. Or maybe he's just someone who couldn't stay. Whatever the truth is, one thing's clear. Peppa Pig is hiding way more than it's letting on. What if I told you? Suzy Sheep's dad was never missing. He's been living in Suzy's house the entire time. While everyone's been wondering where he is, some fans have figured out something huge. He never left. He's just upstairs, or in the basement, or hiding behind a locked door that no one opens. Think about it. There are rooms we never see inside, doors that are always closed. What if he's been behind one of those doors this whole time? And suddenly, all the theories about his whereabouts start to make sense. The narrator theory, the secret spy theory, even the Santa Claus theory. They all place him in the same spot, inside Suzy's house. Stay tuned, because by the end of this video, we uncover where in Suzy's house her dad has been hiding the whole time. So where in the house is Suzy's dad hiding? Let's start upstairs. What if Suzy's dad has been in every episode, as the narrator, and he's been telling the story from a secret room upstairs this whole time? Think about it. The narrator knows everything. Every muddy puddle jump, every supermarket trip, every time Suzy does, well, anything.
Peppa and her friends are at playgroup.
But here's the fun part. Most people imagine the narrator as some floating voice in the sky. But what if he's not? What if Suzy's dad is actually inside the house the whole time, narrating the show from a secret room upstairs? Maybe he's got a camera feed. Maybe he's got some weird monitor set up, bought from the equally mysterious Miss Rabbit. Or maybe he's just peeking through the floorboards with a big cup of tea and a notepad. We don't know. But if this theory is true, it would explain how he always knows what's happening, because he's literally been there the whole time, watching, listening, narrating. We've all heard the theory that Suzy's dad is a spy, a top-secret agent working for the Queen, traveling the world on dangerous missions. But what if everyone's got it slightly wrong? What if he's not off in some faraway country at all, because his secret base is right under their house? Yep, that's right. Mr. Sheep could be a spy in the house, not out of it. The whole Suzy's dad is a spy theory really started with 2 blink and you'll miss them details from the episode In the Future. First, Suzy announces she wants to fly planes and help people around the world. That's not a normal dream job for a 4-year-old. That's the kind of answer you give when you've grown up in a house where missions are normal. Then there are her pajamas. Look closely. There's a big anchor printed right on them, the same symbol worn by Grandpa Pig, Captain Dog, and Grandpa Rabbit. Every one of them a world traveler or explorer. Put those 2 clues together, and it suddenly makes sense why fans think Mr. Sheep isn't missing at all. Because only a kid who's grown up around a spy would dream, talk, and even dress like one. So here's the connection. If Suzy's dad really is part of that same group, a naval spy or secret agent, then maybe he's working much closer to home than anyone thinks. Like right beneath Mummy Sheep's laundry room. Picture it. A hidden basement full of spy gadgets, glowing screens, and a secret phone line straight to the Queen. He's down there decoding messages, keeping an eye on Peppa's world, and staying completely off the radar. It explains everything. Why we never see him, and why Suzy's so confident about flying around the world. She's been raised by a spy, on a mission, from the basement. Is Suzy's dad actually Santa Claus, preparing for Christmas in a secret workshop at home? Okay, this one might sound silly at first, but some fans genuinely believe Suzy Sheep's dad is Santa Claus. It would explain a few things. Suzy always seems to have the best toys, like that top-of-the-range frisbee and flying discs, or her fancy speedboat in the boat pond. And if that's true, then Suzy's dad, or Santa Claus, might still be at home, just hiding in his workshop. Think about it. In the Peppa Pig universe, Santa is 100% real. He appears in multiple episodes, Santa's Grotto, Santa's Visit, and even Peppa's Christmas. And yet, we never find out where he lives. Some fans think we already have. They believe Santa isn't living in the North Pole. He's been living in Suzy's house all along. And he's not missing. He's just busy. Busy wrapping presents, fixing sledges, and preparing for the next Christmas rush, inside a secret workshop somewhere in the house. Maybe the attic, maybe the basement, so maybe Suzy's not sending him letters. She's slipping him notes under the workshop door. And that means Suzy doesn't believe in Santa. She lives with him. Is Suzy's dad Leo? Okay, this next theory is out there, but just wait. In the episode Pretend Friend, Suzy Sheep introduces everyone to her best friend Leo.
This is my new friend, Leo Lion.
Only Leo isn't there, because Leo is invisible. Now most parents would probably tell their kid, "That's lovely, darling," and move on. But Suzy, she treats Leo like a real person. She saves him a seat, walks him around, and even gets annoyed when others don't take him seriously. So, here's the theory. What if Leo isn't just imaginary, but based on someone real? Think about it. If Suzy's dad is hidden away in the house for some mysterious reason, Suzy might have invented Leo as a way to include him in her world. She can't bring her real dad to the park, but Leo can come. She can't talk about her real dad to friends, but she can talk about Leo and explains why Leo seems so real to her. Which kind of makes you wonder, maybe Suzy's been introducing her invisible dad to people for years. What if Suzy's dad isn't missing at all? What if he's just unwell, quietly resting in a room somewhere inside the house? Some fans believe Mr. Sheep is still part of Suzy's life, but he's recovering from an illness that keeps him out of sight. It would explain everything we don't see. The lack of photos, the missing mentions, and why Mummy Sheep never talks about him. He's there, just not well enough to join the everyday chaos of Peppa's world. There's even a small clue that backs this up. In the episode Pedro's Cough, when Pedro is in the hospital, Suzy says,
Pedro will be asleep. Sick people do a lot of sleeping.
Most viewers take it as a simple line, but others think it's something Suzy's mom has told her many times. Not about Pedro, but about her dad. And if that's true, then Mr. Sheep never left. He's still at home, probably in a quiet room where he can rest, recover, and listen to the laughter from the next room, while secretly wishing everyone would keep it down for 5 minutes. Not every theory has to be dramatic. Maybe there's no hidden basement, no top secret mission, no magical narrator booth. Maybe Suzy Sheep's dad is just a regular character who's never been shown. That's it. After all, Peppa Pig isn't exactly known for giving every character a full family tree. We never see Daddy Pig's parents. We barely meet Pedro Pony's dad. Some characters just stay off screen. So maybe Mr. Sheep isn't missing. Maybe he's just in the kitchen making tea while Suzy runs off to another playdate. And honestly, that would make perfect sense, because it means Suzy's dad has been in the house all along. The Sheep family has always been the strangest mystery in Peppa Pig, but new members appearing in the show recently has changed everything. Their arrival proves Suzy's family tree is much bigger than we ever realized, and might hold the key to solving the mystery of her missing dad. Stick around, because we've traced the entire Sheep family tree, analyzing every member and the newest relatives, to uncover the truth about Suzy's mysterious family once and for all. Suzy's dad, the biggest mystery. Suzy Sheep's dad is the biggest missing piece in the entire show. He's never appeared once, and yet his absence shapes everything about the Sheep family. But the show leaves behind strange clues about his possible whereabouts. In the future, Suzy wears pajamas with a giant anchor, the same symbol tied to sailors like Grandpa Pig, Captain Dog, and Grandpa Rabbit. In that same episode, she imagines flying planes around the world, as if adventure is already part of her story. Put together, it hints that her dad, or even a grandparent, might be the missing explorer in the family tree. But the next clue points somewhere very different. Maybe Suzy's dad isn't traveling at all, but lying in a hospital bed. In Pedro's Cough, Suzy says,
Pedro will be asleep. Sick people do a lot of sleeping.
It feels less like a child's guess and more like something she's heard at home. That would explain Mummy Sheep's sadness in Suzy Goes Away when her job abroad falls through. Maybe it wasn't just about work. Maybe it was a chance to live closer to Suzy's dad. There's also the theory that he's simply gone, either separated from Mummy Sheep or even passed away. And if that's true, then Grandma Sheep moving in and Charlotte Sheep suddenly appearing aren't coincidences at all. They're clues filling the empty spaces he left behind. Stick around, because next we'll uncover how Mummy Sheep has become the anchor of the Sheep family, and why the relatives connected to her might be the key to unlocking the truth about Suzy's hidden family tree. Mummy Sheep, the single parent holding it all together. While Suzy's dad remains the great mystery, Mummy Sheep is the one we actually see. She's there in the day-to-day, the reliable parent. But when you look a little closer, it's clear she's carrying a lot on her shoulders. Being a single parent, Mummy Sheep isn't just looking after Suzy at home. The show also hints that she works, as seen in the episode School Project, though her exact job is never revealed. This means she's juggling everything, being mum, being dad, and managing a career all at once. But Mummy Sheep has been holding everything together on her own for far too long, and the cracks are starting to show. In Suzy Goes Away, she's ready to uproot their whole life, maybe chasing the chance to be closer to Suzy's dad, or simply desperate for support. When that plan falls through, it feels like the show itself steps in. Grandma Sheep moves into the house, and Charlotte Sheep suddenly arrives to help babysit her cousin, giving Mummy Sheep the support she deserves, but also a peek into the family she belongs to. Cousin Charlotte, the proof of a bigger family. If Suzy's dad is the biggest mystery, then Charlotte Sheep is the biggest clue. She first pops up in the future, slipping into Suzy's circle so naturally it almost feels like she's always been there. Then she reappears and Granny Sheep moves in, and again in cardboard boxes, proof that she's not just a one-off cameo. Charlotte is here to stay. And her arrival changes everything. Because if she's Suzy's cousin, that means there are more relatives out there. Ones we've never met, but who definitely exist. The really important part is what that implies about Suzy's parents. If Charlotte is on Mummy Sheep's side, then Suzy's mum has a sibling who's still out there somewhere. But if Charlotte is on Suzy's dad's side, that would mean the missing dad might not be so missing after all. His family line could still be alive and well, just off screen. Even the way Charlotte acts tells us something. She's confident, playful, and totally comfortable with Suzy, like they've grown up together. The show treats her presence casually, almost like it's no big deal. But it is, because Charlotte's existence quietly confirms what fans have suspected for years. The Sheep family isn't small, it's hidden. And that's what makes Charlotte so crucial. She's living proof that Suzy's world is much bigger than it looks. Behind her are aunts, uncles, and maybe even the key to finding Suzy's dad. In other words, Charlotte might just be the doorway to uncovering the rest of the Sheep family tree. Grandpa Sheep, lost at sea. Grandpa Sheep has never appeared on screen, not even once. But in Peppa Pig, the characters who don't appear often raise the biggest questions. And when it comes to the Sheep family tree, his absence could be the most important clue of all. Look at the granddads we do know. Grandpa Pig has his boat. Grandpa Rabbit sails and tells wild stories. In Peppa Pig, grandfathers and the sea go hand in hand. So if Grandpa Sheep exists, it makes perfect sense that he'd fit the same pattern, and the evidence is there. In the future, Suzy wears pajamas covered in anchors. Anchors aren't random. They only ever appear on sailor characters. If those pajamas were passed down, they might have come not just from Suzy's dad, but from Grandpa Sheep himself. A sailor's mark carried through the family. And don't forget Grandma Sheep. When she moved in, she brought souvenirs and treasures from around the world, hints of past adventures she likely shared with Grandpa Sheep by her side. So where is he now? That's the unanswered question. Maybe he passed away. Maybe he was lost at sea. Or maybe he's still out there, traveling beyond the edges of Suzy's world. After all, Peppa Pig has shown us that the ocean isn't always safe. Remember Captain Dog's talk of sea monsters and how he vanished for ages on his own voyage. Whatever the truth, Grandpa Sheep's absence left a gap. But Grandma Sheep's entry marked the first real glimpse of the wider Sheep family. Let's look into her story. Grandma Sheep, the adventurer who moved in. Grandma Sheep didn't always live with Suzy. When she first appears, she's shown with souvenirs and treasures from around the world. Tiny reminders that she once traveled far and wide. And if you remember what we said about Grandpa Sheep, it's easy to imagine the two of them exploring together before he disappeared from the picture. But then came the pivotal episode, Granny Sheep Moves In. Suddenly, Grandma trades in her travels for life under the same roof as Suzy and Mummy Sheep. The episode itself hints at one clear reason. With Mummy Sheep busy working, Grandma steps in to help care for Suzy. But that might not be the only explanation. Some fans think she also settled down because Grandpa Sheep never returned, bringing her adventuring days to an end. Others imagine he's still out at sea, and Grandma simply grew too old to keep traveling. Grandma moving in wasn't just about helping, it might have been the start of something bigger. For years, Suzy's side of the story was left almost untouched, while Peppa's family tree kept growing bigger. But now, with Grandma moving in and Charlotte suddenly appearing, it feels like the spotlight is shifting. Her presence proves the writers are finally ready to pull back the curtain and reveal more of Suzy's hidden family tree. And if Grandma's here, then the rest of the missing Sheep family can't be far behind. The missing sibling theory. We've mapped out Suzy's dad, her mom, her cousin, and even her grandparents. But what about brothers or sisters? When you're building a family tree, that's the next big branch. And strangely, Suzy stands out because she doesn't have one. Almost every main character in Peppa Pig has siblings. Peppa has George and Evie. Rebecca Rabbit has a whole burrow full. Even Danny Dog has a baby sister. But Suzy? She's always been the only child. That's where the missing sibling theory comes in. Some fans suggest the house might have originally been designed with another child in mind, a sibling who was planned but never introduced. Instead, that space eventually went to Grandma Sheep. Others take it a step further, pointing to Gabriella Goat in the episode Holiday in the Sun. Peppa and her family meet Gabriella, who's about the same age as Suzy, and the two hit it off right away. Fans noticed how alike they are, both outgoing, confident, and instantly connected. And since Gabriella lives with her dad, Mr. Goat, and no mum is ever shown, fans began to wonder, what if Suzy's mysterious dad and Mr. Goat are somehow linked? Could Gabriella actually be Suzy's sister, living overseas? It's never confirmed, of course, but the similarities in age and personality, plus the fact that both families have missing parents, gave the theory just enough fuel to spread among fans. So is there a missing sibling out there waiting to be revealed? And if the show is keeping that secret, what else about the Sheep family tree is still hidden from us? And there you have it. The Sheep family tree isn't empty. It's full of gaps. Every time we think we've figured it out, another missing branch makes the mystery even bigger. So here's the real question. Is Charlotte Sheep actually the key to unlocking the rest of the family? Let us know your answer in the comments. We've got breaking news. Forget everything you thought you knew about Peppa Pig, because after 20 years, Suzy Sheep's dad is coming back. How do we know this? Well, in the last few seasons, we've seen weddings, babies,
EVIE!
surprise cousins, and grannies moving in.
Granny!
The show's mixing things up for the families in Peppa Pig in a big way. And if the creators are planning one more huge twist, this would be it. We've done the research and found 7 big reasons why the next season might finally answer the question. Is Suzy Sheep's dad ever coming back?
Yes, Mummy!
Let's start with the clue staring us in the face. Okay, the creators of the show have dropped the biggest clue for Suzy Sheep's dad returning, and it couldn't be louder. Peppa Pig is building up for something major, and it starts with new family members arriving fast. We've had Auntie Dottie show up 12 years after first being mentioned. We've had EVIE Pig, the first new character to be added to the Pig family in 20 years. And we saw side characters such as Mr. Bull and Mrs. Cow get married in a big 3-episode wedding. So if the creators of Peppa Pig are giving new family arcs to cows, what's stopping them from finally showing us Mr. Sheep? Suzy is one of the most popular characters in the show, and her backstory is still a mystery. So if the show wants to hit fans in the feels, especially the older kids and nostalgic teens coming back for the new season, this is exactly how they do it. Introduce Suzy's dad, answer the biggest mystery in the series, and finally give Suzy the full family she deserves. This might be the juiciest theory of them all. Suzy Sheep's dad could finally appear, because he's about to get married to Mummy Sheep. Let's rewind to the episode Suzy Goes Away. Mummy Sheep lands a new job abroad, and suddenly her and Suzy are ready to pack up and leave. But then the offer falls through, and Mummy Sheep looks devastated.
They said I didn't get the new job.
But what if the job offer was just a cover? The real plan was to move closer to Mr. Sheep and get married. Now that the move's been cancelled, maybe it's Mr. Sheep's turn to relocate. For a wedding right here. Think about it. Peppa Pig has been gradually turning up the family drama, just like we mentioned earlier. And the next big moment could be a surprise sheep wedding, complete with wedding hats, confetti, and possibly Miss Rabbit officiating and driving the wedding bus. That's not a wedding. That's a full season finale. Okay, it sounds ridiculous, but Suzy's pajamas might be hiding the biggest clue yet, because her dad might be sailing straight into the new season. In the episode In the Future, Suzy Sheep is shown wearing PJs with a giant anchor symbol on them. Why does that matter? Only a few characters in the Peppa Pig universe wear anchor symbols, and they all have one thing in common. They're adventurers. Captain Dog sails across the globe. Grandpa Pig's always off on some boat-related mission. And Grandpa Rabbit? He's flown rockets, built submarines, and probably has a passport full of moon stamps. These aren't just sea lovers, they're world explorers. So why is Suzy Sheep, who has never set foot on a boat rocking maritime fashion to bed? Some fans think it's not just a design choice, it's a signal. Her dad might be a sailor. Maybe he's part of the Royal Navy. Maybe he's off sailing the world like Captain Dog did in Captain Daddy Dog. Maybe he's manning a lighthouse like Grampy Rabbit in Grampy Rabbit's Lighthouse, and just too busy flashing warning lights to come home. It feels like the writers planted a breadcrumb, one that's never been explained, which means maybe it's finally time. You never know, this season, Suzy's dad might finally sail home, duffel bag in hand and ready to anchor himself back into her world. Remember when fans started whispering that Mr. Goat might secretly be Suzy Sheep's dad? The rumors began after the episode Holiday in the Sun, where Peppa's family stayed at a cozy Italian home, run by a very cheerful single dad raising Gabriella Goat all by himself. At the time, it felt like a fun theory. Gabriella doesn't have a mom, Suzy doesn't have a dad, and Mr. Goat has the kind of mysterious backstory that practically invites speculation. But that was then. Now, things feel different. In Suzy Goes Away, Mummy Sheep nearly accepted a job abroad, and some fans believe it was in Italy to reunite with Mr. Goat. And now that the move didn't happen, maybe Mr. Goat is the one packing his bags. Think about it. Suzy's home is already changing. Granny Sheep moved in and the show has been slowly zooming in on Suzy's family life. So what if this is all leading to the next big reveal? Her dad arriving from Italy. Still not convinced? Don't worry. Our next theory dives even deeper, and this time it's classified. Okay, this might sound like something straight out of a spy movie, but hear us out because it actually adds up. In the world of Peppa Pig, if someone's been missing for 20 years, they may be doing something top secret, and that's where the theory that Mr. Sheep is a spy begins. What evidence is there to support this theory, I hear you ask? Well, if we remember the episode In the Future, Suzy announces she wants to be a nurse who flies planes.
But in my lunch break, I will fly a plane.
Good afternoon, everybody. We are now flying all around the world.
That's not a regular job, and it's oddly specific. It's the kind of dream job you'd want if your dad was always off doing something top secret and you never got to see him. But here's where things get extra sneaky. In the Secret Club, Suzy doesn't just play pretend. She leads an entire undercover biscuit-stealing operation. She invents passwords and recruits people into her secret group. And Mummy Sheep is completely on board, not confused, not surprised, just ready with snacks like she's done this 100 times before. This game doesn't seem like a phase, but a family tradition. So what if Suzy's love of secret clubs and dramatic disguises isn't just imaginative play, but inherited behavior? She's following in her dad's hoof steps, the mysterious Mr. Sheep. Maybe he's been working for the Queen's Animal Intelligence Unit or something equally top secret all these years. And perhaps like all great missions, Mr. Sheep's mission has been completed, which means he can finally come home and reunite with Suzy, assuming he remembers her secret password.
I have to say the secret word. Shalamakuki. Shalamakuki.
Here's one theory that hits a little softer, but might explain everything. What if Suzy's dad has been around this whole time, just not at home? Remember, in the future, Suzy says she wants to be a nurse. But what if she wants to become a nurse because someone she loves has been in hospital far away from her? Like her dad. And when you go back and watch Hospital, Suzy's the one who says,
Pedro will be asleep. Sick people do a lot of sleeping.
a bit of an odd thing to say unless someone said it to her before. Maybe Mr. Sheep has been seriously unwell, and that's why we've never seen him. He's missing, not spying, not sailing around the globe, just quietly recovering in hospital, somewhere off screen. And now, maybe he's finally getting better.
Hooray!
So if this season we suddenly hear the doorbell ring at Suzy's house and a tired-looking sheep with flowers walks in, don't be surprised. Suzy's been waiting her whole life to help people, and maybe the first one was always meant to be her dad. Maybe all the spy missions, Italian holidays, and wedding theories are just wrong. Maybe Mr. Sheep is just a normal dad, one who's been away for a while. And now, he's coming back. No mystery, no disguises, no goats. Just a quiet return that's been years in the making. Suzy's one of the only main characters without a full family shown on screen. We've met her mom, her grandma, her cousin, but never her dad. That's a pretty big gap in her story. And if Suzy's going to continue being one of Peppa's closest friends, it makes sense that her story would grow too. So maybe it's finally time. In Granny Sheep Moves In, the house got a little fuller. So don't be surprised if a future episode is called Daddy Sheep Moves Back. Just imagine that. So, is Suzy's dad actually coming back? Well, we're not 100% sure. But if this season is all about family changes, hidden backstories, and surprise returns, then there's no better time. And if that something is Mr. Sheep finally walking through the door, then we'll be ready. If you love this deep dive, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more Peppa Pig theories and animated mysteries. And tell us in the comments, which theory do you believe? Or did we miss one? Check out our other videos on the screen. We've got more wild secrets from Peppa's world waiting for you. We look forward to seeing you there.